Hello, friends. I wanted to talk today about meditation and the importance in general of calming one's mind, especially at a time like this in the world, where everything is crazy and just kind of crazy, to be honest. Like, for a lot of us, people who are living alone at the moment or whatever, are stuck in solitary type situations, it can really kind of make you feel crazy to be stuck with your own thoughts all day, every day. At least that's true for me. I don't know about y'all. And meditation has been really, really helpful and really kind of saved me from, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but in a way, I think has saved me from some of the harder times in my life in the past and probably proceeding forward as well. It's a really valuable tool. And even if you don't want to practice meditation, quote unquote, in my opinion, you should still try to implement some kind of a soothing technique into your life on, if not a daily, at least like a weekly basis, to try to just allow your mind to slow down and become calm again, which most of us, I don't think, have a super calm mind most of the time. I know I go through spurts where I'm super calm and super collected and super coherent, and then there's other times where I'm mentally all over the place and full of anxiety and social anxiety and depression and just bleh. And if in those times, or even just like severe depression from, say, like past breakups or whatever, if I can just remember to get to the meditation, or to just even if it's just sitting still outside under a tree and just closing your eyes and being like, and just kind of like, I think it's a technique for anxiety that they give to people sometimes, but what you essentially do is utilize your five senses. And I'm probably going to get them all wrong now, but the point is you go through your senses and you single them out and you go like, okay, what can I see? I can see this, try to name like 5 things. And then you go through like smells. What can I smell? And try to name 5 things. You get the idea. And that can help if, you feel like you're someone who either can't or doesn't want to meditate. You can use that simple exercise to try to just slow your thoughts. So the reason that this came up, that I decided to talk about this, is because yesterday was Global Coherence Day, which I imagine it'll slowly become more popular as people discover what it is, as they hear about it, as the word spreads, and so on and so forth. But at the moment, I say it's small, but it's small in a global scale. But like, for example, yesterday, I participated in this Global Coherence thing, which was kind of like a giant global meditation. There were 3 sessions during the day. For me, there was one at 1 o'clock, 5, and 9. So they were out 4 hours apart, I guess. Yeah. And so the way that they organized it was the first half was like kind of informational. They had different speakers. I'm going to butcher his name, but I'm going to try. They had Nassim Haramein. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but he's a really cool guy who's into sort of the scientific aspect of some spirituality, kind of. That's a butchery description, but go check him out if you're interested in anything to do with like quantum physics. He's just a really cool, smart, quantum physics-y guy that you should check out if you're interested in any of that. And I'm not sure if he's the like main founder or whatever, but he's part of this Global Coherence Initiative thing. And anyway, so the idea was yesterday that during these 2-hour sessions we would meet. So the first hour was, like I said, like information. They had different speakers. And again, I didn't mention this before. The Global Coherence thing is happening this whole month of August. So it's pretty much every Saturday, I think. It was yesterday, the 8th of August, the 22nd, and the 28th or 6th or something like that. I don't know. I think it's like every Saturday for the month of August. And so they'll have different speakers on talking about all sorts of different subjects. If you want to know more about it, I believe the website is globalcoherence.net. I think we'll give you all the information. By the way, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to participate. And essentially, the goal of the project, I gather, is to, and I know that this sounds a little bit like, I don't know, like, let's all sing Kumbaya and be, friends, kind of, but whatever. It's what the planet needs. So the goal is to literally raise the vibration of the planet by essentially accumulating these clusters of people meditating, or it doesn't have to be meditation. You can just be in heart-centered space in gratitude. So like, for instance, for me, a lot of them, I noticed they have, because this is actually like something that they scientifically want to continue measuring, like globally, because they want to see the effect of these concentrated waves of love. And I know how kind of weird that sounds, but literally, it's a bunch of people gathered around in a space, or not. In our case, we were all separated on a Zoom call, technically separated, most of us, but all with the same intention of spreading, literally radiating love from our hearts out to the planet and to the world. And honestly, it was an amazing experience. Like, I highly suggest that. So, information in the first hour, at least that's how it's been working. It is probably might change as they need to, or whatever, as they want to change things, because I think it's fairly new. And then the second hour is like kind of a mix of meditation and music. It's really, really interesting. It was really, really relaxing. So, I mean, you can come and join, and even if you just sit there and kind of relax through it all, maybe you'll pick up some information if you want to know it. But I highly encourage you to participate, because it's pretty amazing. And by the way, I might add, I'm not like in any way sponsored or like officially affiliated or anything. This is just something that I think is really important to do, especially right now on the planet. Like, a lot of us are just really stressed. And so if we can come together, this was an exciting thing that was cool about this night. So there were 3 sessions yesterday, and I was part of the morning. I was part of all 3. But for me, the morning session was amazing. Well, all 3 were honestly amazing, but for different reasons. Like in the morning, it was because I tell you, this guy was like, to me, seemed like just radiated a shamanistic energy. I don't even know. He just seemed like this medicine man kind of a guy somehow, even though that really kind of wasn't what he was projecting, and yet somehow he was, if that makes any sense. Anyway, he was this really beautiful man who made some music. He played a hand drum, I think. I did a couple of hand drums. And he played a Native American style flute and sang. I don't want to get it wrong and say what language it was, because I'm not positive. But it was really beautiful to listen to. And he really, listening to him really enhanced the meditation, put, I think, a lot of us into almost a trancey state. So it was a really deep, good, relaxing meditation. I would link him, but I don't want to get any details wrong. So maybe in the future I'll add that information in the description for his, I believe he has a website. But anyway, his music is just beautiful. And so you get to meditate. Some of it is with music. Some of it's kind of like guided meditation. And then in our last evening session, what was really, really cool to me to see was there was a group in Bali of these singers and dancers and musicians that were grouped together singing and performing for us. And they were of several different cultures. It was so cool to see, people wearing turbans, people of colors, people of all sorts of diversity. It was just beautiful. And I don't think I'll ever forget one of the experiences, from that evening, which was just singing this one song, which, kind of the essence of it just felt like we were giving all these blessings out, but we were literally speaking all these different languages. So, Om Mani Padme Hum and, hallelujah, assalamu alaikum. I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. But, the point was we were going through all these cultural sort of blessing type chant things. And it was really beautiful to see all these kinds of people coming together for the purpose of spreading love to the whole entire planet and singing each other's languages. It didn't matter that we were of absolutely differing religions and beliefs and stuff. Like, that wasn't an issue. And I just think that that's something we really need on the planet right now is, people of all different types, of all different everythings to come together. We need to be one if we're going to make it through this completely bizarre time that we're going through, in my opinion. Of course, you have free will. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, man, I have to say, I've been kind of meditating for a good 20 years of my life, but really only seriously kind of got back into it in the last couple. And it's just such an invaluable tool. It has so saved my life so many times because it just got my mind to stop Rolodexing, just, I'm sure you all know that your mind gets like that at times. It runs us instead of the other way around. And I attribute, my ability to get through any of the tough stuff in my life to the fact that meditation brought me through it, or, coming to nature to just, really, how often in a day do we even stop just for 1 minute, even, honestly, to take a deep breath? Like, not a lot of us, I don't think, really do that. And in my opinion, that's desperately needed right now. So I guess my sort of plea is, not really a plea, but my suggestion is to try, if you never tried to meditate, give meditation a go. Don't set yourself up for a whole bunch of time. Do like a minute to 5 minutes. Don't give yourself any kind of pressure, and just kind of take it as it comes. And also realize that, like, I don't think I've ever met anyone who meditated or was successful with calming their mind who didn't at some point or continuously struggle with keeping your mind clear. It doesn't really work like that. I think, if you're someone who's meditated successfully, that it doesn't really, I don't know, it's sort of something that is fluid. It kind of comes in waves, sort of. It's almost like when you're falling asleep and going into dream. Well, I suppose on one level it's exactly like that because you're going into theta, right? Waves or something, brain waves. It's just so beneficial. It's beneficial for your muscles. And if we can just remember to do it, it's something that literally will help your immune system stay up. Not a joke. It will keep your vibes a little higher. It'll keep you calmer, and you'll be able to make better, more rational, calm decisions about, things going forward. Like, you'll notice more things if you're more calm at times like are really crazy right now. And I think it's really important that we pay attention, to what's going on in the world right now, because it's a really big pivot point, or maybe pivot isn't quite the right way to put it either, but it's a really big point of change. Like, I think everyone in the world, regardless of belief systems or race or color or anything, blah, 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 can feel that there's a shift in everything going on. And it's not just energetic, like, it's literal. Everything's being restructured, from school systems to healthcare to I don't even know what, to music. People who are musicians are being forced in a way to, because of the virus, to, perform in a way that is very artificial. Like, as a musician, I can't really fathom trying to have an orchestra concert on Zoom, say, for instance. And here's what's weird about that to me. Like, can you do it? Of course. It's harder. For one, kind of obviously, because you're not sitting next to, say, the clarinets. You can't hear if your part is related or, and the other just weird thing is, like, for me, being in music all my life, in terms of being in orchestras, being in bands, there's a collective, in fact, I like it. This is a good kind of segue thing, but whatever, these go together. For me, the feeling when you're meditating successfully versus, or not versus, but is very similar to the feeling I get when I'm completely involved and lost in playing a piece of music. Yeah, those are very, almost exactly the same states that I get into. Obviously not quite as deep when I'm engaged in the music, but at the same time, when I lose myself like that, I'm not really in the room in a way. And I don't know, it's very almost impossible to verbalize the feeling. But I think most musicians can agree on the feeling, though, that there is this feeling when you're in a concert, like live, for instance, versus if you were to just be playing by yourself. And there's a feeling that's shared amongst the whole group of players. And I just think that that's really important to experience. It's part of the joy of playing music live with a group. And I don't know, I guess it just feels very kind of robotic and artificial to like the idea of music's future going forward and being so disconnected and not being able to sit next to your, to the violins or to the whatever, and to really hear it, like immerse yourself in the entire sound of it all. It just seems so wrong. And that's one of the areas in my life that say I'm concerned about because, I'm concerned about it all. Let me be clear on that. I'm concerned about it all because, of course, I'm a citizen of the world and I don't intend on, not being one anytime soon unless, I don't know, somebody takes away my freedoms or kills me or something, which I hope not. Please don't. But anyway, so I just wanted to come by because, one, I haven't posted a video for a day or two, which was just because my mind was a little fuzzy, if I'm being honest. I was kind of in a funk and I didn't really have anything valuable to share, and I kind of don't want to be more noise contributing to the noise of the internet, which is tons. So I wanted to, if I'm going to come and chat with you guys, it might as well be about something that will help you. So I do feel very strongly meditation's a good tool. You can use that to help you now. I know a lot of people are struggling with all kinds of different mental illnesses, and my heart really breaks for them and for everybody, really. Even, I don't even know if I should really tell this story. It's not a long one, but oh well, what the heck. Hopefully I don't get into any kind of issues here. But so here's the story. I was sitting in my backyard. This was, I guess, maybe 2 weeks ago. I was sitting in my backyard and I was, enjoying nature, sitting near my bird feeder. When I go to meditate, I usually just go out in my backyard and I'll sit kind of near the bird feeder so that I can hear the birds and just kind of sit there and try to get it. I'll close my eyes and try to get as calm and quiet as I can. And so there I was sitting there doing that. And I had gotten to a very calm place. And now for some of you who might know me in person, I have freakishly good hearing. I don't know why. It's actually slightly annoying, but like I hear things that I really kind of have no business hearing. There's this funny story in my family about how one time I was like, do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? And my parents were like, no, what are you talking about? And I went over to the wall and I put my ear up to the wall and I could hear that there was water running in through the wall, like somehow, I don't know, through a pipe or a pipe had burst or something. My parents are like, nah, you can't hear that. That can't be what that is. Lo and behold, they go check it out. That's exactly what it was. And I mean, so point is, I can hear things more towards where dogs would hear. I don't know why. My parents joke about how I'm a dog or a bat or whatever. I don't know. So I'm sitting in my backyard and I'm chill. I'm nice. I finally gotten to that place that you strive to get to, which is, relatively new development for me. I had fallen out of practice with meditation, like I may have mentioned, and I've only recently got back to it. And so here I am finally in my Zen place. I finally reached that place of peace. And this part's not funny, so I'm trying to like stop smiling about it because it's really not funny. But here I am peacefully sitting there, and all of a sudden I become aware kind of my outside surroundings a little bit more than I was before. I was in that space where you're not exactly here, but you're not gone either. But I wasn't so much here that, say, if the wind was blowing, I was necessarily noticing that on my skin. So I kind of come back a little bit more, if that makes sense. So I'm coming a little more into awareness. And I realize that I can hear somebody in the neighborhood. Now, I know you can't tell or anything. I'm sitting in my car in my garage, but I do have neighbors like directly across the street, and then up the hill, kind of down the hill. It's a little rural street, whatever. And I become aware that I can hear some people shouting really loudly and really aggressively. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit, like, what do I do? Do I need, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, do I need to do something? Because I become aware that not only is it just yelling, but it's like aggressive. There was a lot of cursing, and I realize it's between a male and a female. And I'm like, I'm getting nervous because, well, anyway, there's a little bit of history with that house, we'll just say. And I was at the point where if something else happens, I'm calling the cops. And because with my hearing, I end up hearing things that most people probably wouldn't in terms of domestic potential violence. And it became clear to me that this yelling wasn't just a fight, that it was turning into domestic violence. And I kind of I got up and I picked up my phone and I went out into the front, and I was like about to call the police because it really sounded like this woman was going to be in trouble. And I was obviously concerned. And these people also have a dog. And I was also concerned for the dog because I'm a sensitive person, and when a dog is barking, like, I can tell the difference between it's just barking and it's barking out of a cry for help or like a distress. And it was a distress bark, and the woman's voice was distressed and the man's voice was very angry and aggressive, and they were both cussing, and it was just very stressful. And so I was pretty much like right about to call, and I saw a cop car drive by. So thankfully, I guess someone else in the neighborhood called. But the reason that I mentioned that is twofold. One is that it really is important to stay calm and collected and try to, like, I'm not judging you if you can't get to that space. God knows I understand, like, why maybe you can't quite reach that. But if you have access in any way to get to that point of calm, I can't tell you enough how important it is. Because, like, one of the terrible things that's happening in this lockdown right now that I realized all of a sudden was that, geez, there are people stuck in this lockdown who are stuck with people that can cause them harm and trauma. And that isn't good either. Like, that's sort of the dark side of the lockdown. Yes, is it protecting us potentially from the virus? Maybe. But holy crap, like, they don't even know the effects of the mental health from this time on people. I'm sure, not to mention the suicides that have happened and suicides that will happen. I mean, we're a society that, no, let me back that up. We're a race. The human race, the human beings, and actually, if you ask me, all creatures on earth are meant to be connected. Like, we're connective beings. We need connection. And all I can really say about it is just, man, I can't imagine the detriment that this is going to play out over time, because people are so isolated for so long. Like, this just can't keep going on. People, we need to find a way to be able to gather when this is done being so, when it's done with us, whenever that is, which hopefully is sooner than later. I don't know. I can't predict these types of things. I have no idea, but. So I just wanted to come say hi for one, tell you guys that I love and miss you always when I'm not here, and also know that I'm always thinking about you. And I wanted to just talk about meditation, talk about my experience with the Global Coherence Initiative, which I highly suggest. Come be part of it. It's free again. globalcoherence.net, I'm pretty sure. Check it out if you want to participate. Cool. If not, no worries. There's a lot of people who just want to radiate love across the planet because it doesn't even actually really matter if you believe in that or not. They actually have measured this. Who exactly, I don't know, but people like Nassim Haramein and Greg Braden, I think, have been involved in studying these things, and Eric Pearl as well. You can research their work if you're interested in that sort of thing, but all very interesting stuff. They're finding that the heart really does have a lot of connection to our brain and to our whole systemic health and everything. So that's why I wanted to mention it. So I encourage you, if you want to get in on that, awesome possum. I will be there probably myself next weekend. On another whatever note, if you know anything about the things I'm into, if you know anything, happen to know about Reconnective Healing, I'm actually going to get myself reconnected this week. So I'm excited to see how that goes. If anything interesting comes about, I'm sure I'll probably make a video at some point, either when I get back home or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to get reconnected. What that means, for those of you who might not know, which might be a lot of you, what people who facilitate reconnective healings or who do facilitate reconnections, what they do, and I know this is going to sound strange, but it's actually been proven that these frequencies that they work with exist. It's scientifically proven, so not as woo-woo as it may sound. They basically, the world has ley lines, has grid lines all the way around it. Is that grid? Kind of. You can kind of make that look like a grid, like graph paper, right? So you have, horizontal lines. Did I do that right? Horizontal, vertical? Yeah, okay. Anyway, you have crisscross lines going all the way across, wrapping all the way around this way and wrapping all the way around that way around the earth, basically making a big grid. And why was I talking about said grid? The feel when your brain just goes, nope, not going to let you continue that train of thought. Right, I was explaining the reconnection. Sorry, brain fart. So essentially these, I think it's maybe latitude, longitude lines even, for all I know, or maybe it's different, I don't know, but it's energetic lines that follow this grid pattern of the earth. And what essentially these people who facilitate these reconnections do is connect. What's happened is, over time, our bodies have become disconnected from the earth. We, at one point, like, our energetic fields were kind of merged with the earth. And so what the reconnection does is reconnect your ley lines to the ley lines of the earth. So as weird as it sounds, it literally connects you back into the earth's, like, energetic system in a way. And this was something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, but I wanted to wait until my intuition was, like, strong and was like, yeah, do it now or whatever. So I just waited till I felt that. And now, as bizarre as it actually feels to me to be feeling like, yeah, this is the right time because the world's going to hell in a handbasket, but let's go do it. It does actually feel completely right. So I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping that, well, no, I don't have any specific expectations attached, to be honest. I just wanted to feel more connected to the earth and to nature. And I've always felt like I was here to be some kind of a healer. I don't know if that's through psychology, if that's through medicine, if that's through whatever, talking about awakening. I don't know, but I know that I'm here to be a healer in some form or fashion. And I think this may be a missing piece, or at the very least, it's a stepping stone on the way to my progression to helping people, because I don't know very much, but I know that I'm on this planet to help other people. I'm not here to be a self-centered being, that's for sure. And I really want to help. And my whole life, it's just kind of been this search for, like, but how, what can I do? How can I help? And so hopefully I'll have something interesting to say about that. I'm sure how my life's been developing already. This particular person that I'm going to see often says that sometimes the minute the person makes the schedules the appointment for their reconnection, they can begin to sense some changes. And I can actually confirm that for me, that's turning out to be the case, which is feeling really weird, but is also really cool. Like, it's really strange, but quite literally, since I literally made the appointment, things have just kind of slowly been falling more and more into place. It's a little weird. It's like, I sort of had it in my mind that, not that I was doing this consciously by any means, but like subconsciously was trying to guide my life, and had this like, well, you have to do this to do this to do this kind of mentality. And now I think I'm realizing that I don't have to do that. And it's actually the most amazing feeling. Like, I'm realizing that I can literally just go with the flow, and believe it or not, like, the universe has got you, boo. Like, it's scary for me because I'm a person who has issues with trust, because most of my life I pretty much didn't maintain any friends, and for one reason or another, I don't really know the answer to why that was. But so I'm pretty much have been a loner most of my life. I've had friends, don't get me wrong, but like, I only really have one best friend that stuck around, and my other person that I consider to be my best friend is my wife and my cousins, I should say, my family. But so that's happening this week, and I'm super, super excited. I'm also taking a class with Victor Odo and Aaron Dowdy, which is going to be super exciting. Working on this probably. So I'm super hyped about that. That's going to be amazing. Those are two individuals who are super heart-centered with everything that they do, and I trust implicitly. So I know that course is going to be a blast. And yeah, I guess that's the main stuff. My week is just chock full of travel and reconnection, and then going to Victor and Aaron's class. So learning how to better myself in my life and everything. So I hope you all have a beautiful week. Consider teaching yourself to meditate or practicing little bits of meditation. Sorry, we're losing the light here for some reason. It's been kind of a stormy day. And if you have any questions, by all means, ask me. I highly, highly encourage you to check out the Global Coherence Initiative. I will link that below, because even though I'm not, like, in any way, like I said, affiliated with them officially in any kind of capacity at all, it's a very cool thing. And I really, really support what they're trying to do all around the world, which is mainly just connect diverse people and get us on a heart-centered page and basically do everything we do in life. Realize that that's a choice and a vote, and do it with our heart and integrity, if that makes sense. That's a real shift from the way that the world has been kind of operating. So I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. I'm like floored that anyone has listened to any of these videos actually so far. So thank you so, so much. Seriously, I appreciate you. You're the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas. Like if you liked the video, subscribe if you liked that, or me, or anything about the channel, please, and thank you. And hopefully I'll be back soon with either another song or some garden stuff real soon. Or maybe information about how my reconnection went. I don't know, but you guys will see me soon. But know that this week is really, really busy, and I'm going to be in New York for a couple of days. Blah, blah, blah. So have an awesome week. I love you guys. Like and subscribe. I'd really love to just chat and build a community of like-minded people, musicians, people concerned about sustainability. So come hang out. I love you guys. Have a great week. I hope everything is going well with you. I hope your family is well. I hope you're taking care. I hope you're keeping your immune system high. And I love you very much. Take care. Bye.